Hello and welcome to Fully Operational, where we're going to cover the Imperial Fighter Squadron's expansion pack. I'm joined by Chris and Nick from NoDisintegrations podcast. You can follow us at ND Star Wars, at Fully Ops, or at Fully Operational on YouTube. Alright, so this is the new Star Wars Armada Imperial Fighter pack. It upgrades the game, so it gives you access to much more different variations of TIE fighters, which are great. Comes with a lot. It's relatively expensive, £15. It comes with 2 plastic TIE Fighter Squadrons, 2 TIE Advanced Squadrons, 2 TIE Interceptor Squadrons, 2 TIE Bomber Squadrons, and all the cards, dials, and tokens that you'd expect for those.
Yeah, with this pack, it is going to give a lot more versatility to the types of builds we're going to be seeing. So we'll pull some of this stuff out and see what we get inside the pack.
Yeah, we've also shot the video for the Rebel pack, so if you click on the YouTube video, you'll be able to see that if you're a Rebel player, or if you want to find out what your opposition might be running. So this is great. So as you'd expect from FFG, everything comes nicely in plastic on cardboard. It comes with all the dials, all the tokens that you might need. Here a scatter and brace, for example, which should give you an idea of the sort of fighters that you're going to get inside.
Yeah, basically you're only going to have scatter and brace on fighters because the other two are essentially irrelevant. They're not going to do anything they're not going to have any advantage for fighters.
That's a good point. That is a very good point. So we'll put those over to the side. So that everyone can see them in their periphery. And we'll get into the meat, which is the cards, which you can see here. Standard FFG fare, which are nice. Alright, so first up is the TIE Fighter Squadron. You'll be used to these. You'll definitely have these in your core box.
Yeah, exactly the same as what you find in the core set. Fairly cheap, only 8 points. Speed 4, hull 3, very standard fighter squadron.
And it starts the theme off for the Imperial TIE fighters with Swarm, which is basically while attacking a squadron engaged with another squadron, you may re-roll 1 dice. So that's great. That's going to show off strength in numbers for the TIE fighters when you're running big TIE screens.
Yeah. The next card we've got is the named pilot for the TIE Fighter Squadron, Mauler Mythal. Now he has the exact same stat line as what you'll find on a regular TIE Fighter Squadron, with the addition of brace and scatter, which are going to make him it really increase his survivability. He also has the special rule that after you move, each squadron engaged with you suffers 1 damage. So he's the kind of guy that you'll fly into to your enemies, right into the heart of your enemy squadrons, and automatically do 1 damage to every single one of them.
Which is really nice. Sorry, Chris, go ahead.
And is there no way to? I don't play the game myself. Is there no way to prevent that damage? Is that just straight up? That's always nice.
Straight up, and especially against rebel ships, which are generally much more healthy than the TIE fighters. You're going to need that damage on there to start doing enough damage to take out an X-wing or a Y-wing, for example.
I know Nick likes to run a lot of fighters, so that could be quite deadly against him.
That's right, yeah.
Absolutely, and he's 15 points, so 1 point less than Hal Runner. Good point mix, I think, there for the ability that you're getting, and his survivability too. But definitely a nice person to put into TIE Swarm. So here we have the TIE Advanced Squadron. This is the more bulky, the more upgraded version of the TIE Fighter. It's got 5 health, same move as you'd expect from a TIE Fighter. The difference here that you'll notice straight away is it has a black anti-ship dice.
That's right, yeah. So he also comes with the Escort special ability. Now, we've only seen the Escort previously on X-Wings. What this means is that squadrons you're engaged with cannot attack other squadrons that lack the escort ability. So essentially, you're going to have to attack this guy first before you can attack anybody else who's around him. I think what we're going to see is a lot of TIE Advanced Squadrons flying with TIE Bombers, and when we get onto that later on as well, you can there's a special ability from the name character from the bomber that's going to help out with the TIE Advanced as well. But coming in at how many points is that? 12 points, one point cheaper than the X-Wings as well.
But still nice to run with your standard TIE fighters too, because it means your opponent has to deal with these guys first.
Oh, definitely.
Before they can take out the lower health. And here's the big man himself, Darth Vader. This is just before he started spinning out of control. This picture was taken before vomit covered the windscreen. He has 5 health, so he's tanky, same exactly expect. The difference here being he adds a black dice to his anti-squadron, making him a beast, and he gains the awesome ability while attacking. Each of your critical icons adds 1 damage to the damage total. That's fantastic, especially in anti-squadron, adding that black dice, and in the anti-ship as well.
That's right. That's right. I mean, with 3 blue dice and 1 black dice, 2 of the faces on the black die have got a hit and a critical icon, which means that you could potentially do 5 damage against a squadron in 1 hit, which is going to be enough to take out a squadron of X-wings. Yeah,
absolutely. Which has been the difficulty so far for TIE fighters. You'll notice here actually that the advanced and Darth Vader don't have the swarm ability, but they do have the escort ability, as you mentioned.
Also coming in at 21 points, he is the most expensive squadron available in the game at this point.
Yeah, and no scatter as well. That's interesting. He's all the other sort of named pilots so far have had scatter, which is good. TIE Interceptor Squadron. These guys are my favourite. These are your anti-squadron ships. These are the guys you want to run out first. They're faster. That makes sense. You get them out there. They got 4 anti-squadron blue dice, which is lovely. Counter 2. It's the first time an Imperial ship has had that. After a squadron performs a non-counter attack against you, you may attack that squadron with an anti-squadron armament of 2 blue dice. Really nice. That's even if you're destroyed. So these are the guys that you want to send out there to take out the A-wings, take out the X-wings, take out the Y-wings.
That's right.
Be careful. This counter won't happen against A-wings, so they also have counter 2.
Well,
right?
it won't happen against their counter attack. So against their regular attack, it will.
Yeah.
The interesting point about the counter ability as well is that it takes place even after you've been destroyed.
Yeah.
So it definitely
that's nice.
Suicide vests on the
right,
pilots.
Yeah.
The wings.
And with only 3 health, they are going to be destroyed fairly easily, like we see with the regular TIE fighters.
Yeah, that's fair. Although they also have swarm as well. So also you want to get in there nice and tight with more units. And here is the named pilot, the man with a very nice beard. Nick, you had mentioned before.
Yeah, I've modelled my own beard off of Sun Tifel, actually, this exact card.
I did wonder where you got your inspiration. Sun Tifel, exactly the same as a TIE Interceptor, but he gains this awesome ability. After a squadron you are engaged with performs a non-counter attack, it suffers 1 damage if it did not attack you.
Yeah, so basically he's going to be the guy that, similar to the escort ability, which forces you to attack him, if you don't attack him, then you're going to automatically suffer a damage. Now, with his defense tokens as well, of 1 brace and 1 scatter, a lot of the time what you find is people will try not to attack the named characters because of those defense icons.
Could you run this guy with a TIE Advanced Squadron with the escort ability protecting him?
Yeah, actually you could. So that's going to mean that because the TIE Advanced have escort, he's always going to be doing that automatic 1 damage.
Yeah, so you run him with 2 Advanced Squadrons. Instead of Vader, you run Sun Tifel with him. That's a pretty deadly anti-squadron mix you got there.
It is, yeah.
Cool, and then these are awesome. The TIE Bombers, which are good. So 4 movement, same as a TIE Fighter, which is surprising, actually. I thought they'd be a little bit slower than that. 5 health, 1 black anti-squadron, 1 black anti-ship, and the bomber ability. Nick, can you tell me about the bomber ability?
Yeah, so the bomber ability means that while attacking your ship, each of your crit icons adds 1 damage to the damage total, and you can resolve a critical effect as well. So generally, only hit icons have an effect for squadron attacks, but the bomber means that when you're attacking ships, you can do critical hits as well, which is pretty effective against ships. Also, it means that you're going to be dealing some face-up damage cards when you're attacking those ships as well.
Which is great, as I learned in the last game we had. Yeah. I had a Y-wing do some beastly effect to me.
That's right, and at only 9 points, they're also very cheap.
Oh, that's true. Right, Major Rhymer.
It's my favourite character because he sounds like an 80s hip-hop artist. So
80s hip-hop artist turned Imperial pilot.
It's disco lights in the background as well, so it's, he's really showing his stuff there. So
this is Bombsquad. He adds a blue dice to the anti-squadron, which is nice. So he's also not phased when X-Wings are on his targeting scanners. Friendly squadrons at distance 1 can attack enemy ships at close to medium range using all dice in their battery armament.
So that's just going to have a massive impact on a lot of your fighters, actually, because they're going to be able to. Usually, your fighters can only shoot at close range.
Yeah.
Increasing that to medium, it really makes them expands their range quite a bit, making them a lot more deadly.
Those bombers then become you really want to deal with those bombers. If Major Reimer's there and he's with the bombers, you really want to deal with them quickly. Deal with them quickly. Otherwise, they're going to start wreaking havoc at medium range. So here we go. This is the TIE Advanced. Take a look at the model. Pretty nice. As you'd expect, I've been pretty pleased with the models from FFG on Armada.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a few complaints about the fighters not being painted, and a few people not very happy with what they look like. I mean, I'm fairly fine with them, particularly the TIE fighters. I mean, if you do want to paint them, it is going to be very, very easy to paint to make them look like TIE fighters, because it's just essentially black and grey. But there has been a few complaints about the quality of them. I'm fine with it, and they are tiny as well. I mean, you look at the size of those models when they're there you're playing on the star map, and when you look at the scope of everything, you've got your nice beefy ships.
They look big on the screen. That's called perspective. Is that right, Chris?
Because I thought they were really big. I was getting really confused.
Yeah, no. That's perspective.
That's right. Yes. They were actually quite close to the camera. That's why they look so big.
Not big, close.
Now
I understand.
Any hand modelling agencies who want to make contact, please do. You can tweet us at ND Star Wars, and I'll put you in contact with my representation.
I also think the thing with the squadrons is you got to think of it like your generals with the battle map, like with those things that the sticks that they push things around with. It's not meant to be to scale. It's not meant to show an entire squadron. It's just you pushing around the little graphic representation of where your troops are.
But they look great. I mean, on the stand like that, it looks great when you put them next to the model. So I'm super happy with those. I think a good pack. A good pack, definitely given a lot of options. Definitely starts to make you think about how you use fighters. I think with the core set, it was the focus was around the ships, and then you use the fighters really as TIE screens or as just an X-wing assault force. Now you've got to think about it. Right, do I have my Alpha Squadron? Is that Soontir Fel with some advanced squadrons? And it's his job then to get behind the Nebulon B and to start, or to deal with the squadrons very quickly. Yeah. And then do I have a TIE bomber? My B Squadron, for example, whose job is to loop around and try and take out one of the ships. It gives you a lot more food to think about, I think.
There is a lot of variety in this pack, in the fighters. I think what we're going to see, though, is people purchasing more than one pack. Just so that they can have... sure, there is the variety here, but only 2 of each different type. Particularly with how cheap they are, you can have up to a third of your total points cost in fighters. So I think people purchasing two Imperial fighter packs just so they can get exactly the sort of balance that they want in their fighters.
Brilliant. That was a breakdown of the Imperial Fighter Squadron's expansion pack for Star Wars Armada. Click the link if you want to watch our Rebel fighter pack breakdown. Obviously follow us on Twitter. Links are on the screen right now, or on YouTube or on Facebook to find out more. Thanks a lot.